People, if this is true, you know, I'm not going to elaborate the point, but I remember hearing from a few people that the February 22nd card in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia was going to be big. Like, I'm talking day of reckoning style big. And then you kind of hear, well, this isn't going to happen, and this, and this, and this, and then maybe March, and you're kind of like, okay, it's going to be decent. You know, we'll see Dubois probably on it, but is it really going to be that big? Well, speaking of big, is it really going to be that big? Dan Raphael has tweeted that the Artur Beterbiev Dmitry Bivol rematch and Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, it is reportedly could both take place and are both being discussed to take place on the February 22nd show in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. First and foremost, the earlier the better for Beterbiev Bivol, because Beterbiev is he 40 or is he 41? I think he's going on 40 in the end of January. So yeah, the quicker the better. Neither guy took a crazy amount of punishment in the fight back in October. So yeah, get that done. Dubois versus Parker. I mean, of course, that's the fight to make. Look, they talked about Dubois versus, Zhang, Bacoli, this, that, and the other. Listen, Joseph Parker versus Daniel Dubois, in my opinion, that's the fight to make. It's an in-house fight. Both guys are with Queensberry. Stylistically for Daniel Dubois, I think Joseph Parker is going to be a much harder fight than Anthony Joshua, just from a stylistic point of view. If ever a man has earned a crack at a world title, it is, of course, Joseph Parker. I would assume it means that he needs to now vacate the WBO interim title. I know that a lot of people were saying, Joseph Parker's not ranked by the IBF. No, they won't rank an interim champion. It doesn't really matter what you do. If you're an interim champion, it's not like being mandatory for the WBO and then being ranked by the IBF. It's different. Even though they're essentially one and the same, it's like being, a glorified mandatory interim champion, so they won't rank you. Sometimes they'll let you keep the belt depending on the sanctioning body. If you go into a fight as interim champion, they might let you keep it, but for the most part, they'll probably ask you to vacate it, which is not a bad thing because everyone who's held that WBO title, the interim title, has lost. If you think about it, Joyce held it, lost. Zhang held it, lost. Joseph Parker has it now. It's bad omen having that title. Even worse omen defending it, because good lord. So he might have to vacate it. Excuse me. In which case, well then the WBO, I would imagine, would just dispose. There's no point having it. If I don't know, just order an eliminator, because there's no point having it vacant. There's no point having a vacant interim title. It just makes no sense. That's not the purpose of an interim title is for anyway. But Parker versus Dubois, people, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that it's a great fight. I think that, it's competitive. Look, me personally, from the outside looking in, I think that Joseph Parker has the potential to win early rounds against Daniel Dubois, but I expect it to go similar-ish to the Joe Joyce fight, in a sense that I think Dubois will break Joseph Parker down and most likely ultimately stop him late or win the fight on points. Fairly clear decision. But I don't see people looking and thinking, well, he did that to Anthony Joshua. What's he going to do to Parker? No. Different kettle of fish altogether. Parker's more defensively minded than Anthony Joshua. Takes a better shot. He's not, a Filip Hrgovic in terms of punch resistance, but he's definitely not chinny either. He has been down in his career. He was down against Chisora, who many people have said hits very hard. He was down against Zhilei Zhang, arguably the biggest puncher in the division. He was down against Dylan White. The first knockdown was BS. The second one was legit, 100% legit. So he's been, and that was Dylan White's left hook, his best punch. So when he has been down, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're the only times he's been down. When he has been down, it's been good shots by big punchers who put him down. So he takes a fairly good shot. And personally, I think that he will give Dubois, as I said, a good fight. But I see Daniel Dubois winning. But just think of that, right? Dubois versus Parker and Beterbiev versus Bivol. Now, it's being reported, it's being discussed with the Beterbiev Bivol fight. The sooner the better for that fight. There was thought they'd do it October next year. No. You don't have the luxury of time with Beterbiev. You just don't have it. You want these guys to meet when they're still at their best. And BETERBIEV isn't even at his best, which makes what he did back in October all the more impressive. Because I think physically he's not. You can't be at 39, I don't think, or 40. You're just not going to be as good as you were at 32, 33. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, they have to make hay while the sun shines with BETERBIEV. To do this fight in February 22nd, what would be the main event? That would be the main event. You'd have to do heavyweight, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Oh, Jesus. What would you do as main event? That is epic. Like, if that is what the card is going to be, and there's potential of, you know, Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, if we're talking Boots Ennis, Ortiz, Dubois versus Parker, and BETERBIEV versus Bivol 2, people, that is on par with Day of Reckoning. Seriously, that is a epic card, if it is the case. So, look, I really hope it's the case. The sooner the better with BETERBIEV, Bivol. Dubois, would I like to see him fight Zhang? Be interesting. I guess the worry is that Joseph Parker, although he's had a win over Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, two very, very good wins, especially the Zhang win, yeah, they weren't entertaining. They weren't. And boxing is, at the end of the day, an entertainment sport. But, look, Wilder was unbelievably cautious against Joseph Parker, and Parker wasn't going to take a risk because we know, well, we didn't know at the time that that Deontay Wilder couldn't really pull the trigger. Parker wasn't to know that. Most people would have been cautious because we know what Deontay Wilder is like. We know he's one of, if not the biggest puncher in the division when he lets the big right hand go. In terms of Zhilei Zhang, you know, Zhang's stamina was god awful and Parker just outworked him. Dubois' stamina is not god awful. He's definitely not afraid to let his hands go. Takes a decent shot. I think it has the makings of a good fight. But as I said again, I would make Daniel Dubois favourite in that fight. But let me know your thoughts. That is shaping up to be a really great undercard, isn't it not? So let me know your thoughts, lads and lassies. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button. Jab that. Do whatever you got to do. But hit that like button. Imagine that like button is Keir Starmer's face and you just want to... There you go. That's what you do. Hit that like button as hard as you can. There we go. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button. All that good stuff. Peace.